Hello everyone, I'm Reza, the CEO and co-founder of Katalyze AI. I'm thrilled to present our raw material optimization product, an essential feature of Katalyze AI platform. This innovative solution is crafted to highlight the significant impact of raw materials on the quality and cost of pharmaceutical manufacturing. Our journey began when we identified a critical gap during our collaboration with one of our customers. While the industry places substantial emphasis on process parameters and manufacturing techniques, raw material, a cornerstone of production, frequently lack the same level of attention. This issue stems from the external sourcing of the raw materials and the varied, often outdated data formats from suppliers and external labs. This complicates effective data consolidation and analysis. On average, 20% of production deviations are attributed to raw material variability. This insight led us not just to harmonize data, but also develop an AI-driven solution to predict and prevent such variations. The raw material optimization product emerged from compiling this data, focusing on raw material quality and its production impact, alongside insights on pricing and sustainability from each supplier. We've identified 4 key applications our customers find most valuable. Optimizing output is number 1. Our tool helps eliminating scrap batches and deviation and ensuring higher yield. The second one is testing optimization. By pinpointing which attributes most affect production, we guide where to concentrate testing efforts. The third one is advanced root cause analysis. Armed with comprehensive data, engineers and scientists can swiftly link deviations back to specific raw materials when necessary. And the last one is the supplier selection. Access to detailed information on sustainability, price, and quality simplify choosing the best supplier. Now let's get into the demo. Here you can see an overview of the pharma manufacturing with different sites across the world. You can rank them based on the KPIs that we have, ESG, OE, quality, yield, and more. But more importantly, let's dive into one of the sites here. For example, if you want to go to the Philadelphia site, there are 3 pieces of information that you can see, 3 sections. Section 1 is the processes and products. The section 2 is the raw materials. And the last section is the suppliers. So you have an overview of how your production is going, how your raw material is performing, and how your suppliers are performing. So if we dive into the process itself and assume you're a process engineer, you can see an overview of how you are performing for each of the products that's being produced on your site. You can dive into a specific vaccine, see how the processes look like. But more importantly, you can dive into a specific batch that you have. So you can look at that batch, how the parameters within the batch is working, how the genealogy look like, and where the raw materials that's coming in, and at the end how the process controls are performing. The second piece is the raw materials. So very similar to what you see in the process, but here we can see about all the raw materials you have inside your platform, how they are performing, and you can dive into a specific raw material. You see an overview of that raw material, how much lab test coverage you have, how much of the certificate of analysis you're getting, who are the vendors, where each product that raw material is being used, what are the main attributes that related to that raw material, and a specific batch that got delivered to your facility. The other thing that you can look into is the attributes. So what are the attributes that you identify as key? What are the attributes that you identify as critical? And what are the characteristic specifications? Here is getting a little more interesting. You can look into how each vendor batch perform against the production. So you can look into the test that you run on the raw material and how does it correlate to your production output. It could be like cell viability, biomass, pH, and other stuff. And the last piece is you can get an overview of like a correlation heat map of how each material attributes affects each production attributes in your site. And there is you can always go through this one proactively look at the stuff, or we have our kind of your notification center. If something comes up, we'll let you know. For example, here we are seeing a potential deviation detected. So we go there and start reviewing and see what exactly is happening. You say like, oh, what exactly is happening in diphtheria vaccine in fermentation 1. And when we jump into it, it's like we exactly get what is happening there. So here we are predicting that a pH is going beyond the range that is recommended for this specific process. So when you click into it, you can see the prediction and why this is happening. That piece is not only related to the data that we get, we also analyze a lot of deviation reports, kappa reports, a specification document. So you have your IoT information plus all of your documentation here at your disposal. Now you can also activate your assistant here. So if you have a specific question, why this is happening, have we had similar issues in the past, you can come here, open the assistant, add context. It's like, hey, exactly where you need to know more information. I clicked on the place that's like, hey, I need more information from. And now you are now connected to your knowledge base. It's kind of, you are connected to the knowledge that happened in the decades that you collected together inside your organization. Here it comes in, it's like, hey, it seems like in production fermentation process of diphtheria vaccine, the current estimate of pH is 7.3, which is beyond the range that it should be. You can ask more questions why this is happening, and again look at like all the deviation reports, the historically why that's happening, bring it to you so you have an idea about what's happening here. The last piece is, if you want, even take the data out and run the analysis, in an ad hoc way, you are able to extract the information right here in your dashboard. The last piece that I want to go through is the supplier piece, going about like, now we talked a lot about the production, how the quality of the attribute affects your production. But if we want to talk about the suppliers, you have a view of your suppliers here, where your materials are coming from, who are your suppliers, what's their rating, if you are on track with your commitments on the sustainability based on the scope 3, and you can jump into a specific one. Like, I want to look at the Thermo Fisher specifically. You have what material you're buying from Thermo Fisher, and in this table you can look into, the quality competitiveness, the average cost, the price competitiveness, and all of this information. You can make an informed decision about your raw material. There is a lot of nooks and crannies in this product. I'm not gonna get to all of it, but that should be give you an overview of what's happening inside that raw material optimization. Thank you for your time, and if you have any further questions, feel free to reach to me at reza@katalyzeai.com.